All right, welcome aboard, guys. Have to go feed Hammy and water some plants. What are we thinking about it? Okay, foot on accelerator, just push him a little bit. Dink, beautiful. All right, looks like we're good to go. Right. It's funny how it varies. I just don't know. Sometimes it's like the mailbox suddenly jumped in front of the car. Sometimes like, yeah, it's been there the whole time. I don't know. All right, so anyway, that's what we're going to do today. We're just taking a quick trip down and come right back. Of course, it's never quite as quick as you want it to be, but there it is. So for those of you who don't have a clue, I don't know. I don't know how you can't have heard this. I came across a new video talking about the history of the oil business, so to speak. Although the main purpose was to explain, although their numbers didn't seem quite as dramatic as I thought they were. Right, 70% U.S. Produce and consumption. 70% means only 30% is being imported. I'm not sure that's quite right, but why do you say we wait for this Toyota to go by? All right, press the button, FSD back on. It's kind of hard to pick the car up with all the trees and brush there. So anyway, so when you frack, right, well, it's a combination of fracturing and hydraulics. Anyway, you get light sweet crude apparently. Well, American refineries are meant for heavy sour, right? Heavy and sweet, heavy and light, sweet and sour describe the makeup of oil, with heavy being a more thicker oil. So I'm guessing what that says is at least some part of what we produce can't really be used, so we export it. The guy didn't break it down saying, well, we produce X million barrels of light sweet and X million barrels of heavy crude or heavy sour. Okay, but to produce gasoline from heavy sour requires a special setup. I guess potentially you could use light sweet, but it would not be as efficient, I think, is what the message and part of that message is. Fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Canada has plenty of heavy sour, and so does Mexico. So we could easily import from them. Yeah. Whatever. What? Why are we doing 31 here? human driver foot and accelerator. I mean, it doesn't, this video doesn't get enough into details. I've already forgotten the name of the video, but in his title, he's saying directly, why do we do the oil business the way we do? Right? And that's a question there anybody around would have to ask. If we're producing more oil than we could use, why do we import anything? So one of the factors is the quality of oil, so to speak. Okay, that's one of the big factors. Another factor is just transportation. For some parts of the United States, it's easier to transport from someplace else to the U.S. than to import from Texas, so to speak. And we don't have the oil pipeline infrastructure to handle all the transportation needs. There is a U.S. law that says if you're transporting U.S. oil to a U.S. port, it must be on a U.S. flagged ship, which makes transporting that oil much more expensive than to import from somewhere else using a non-U.S. flagged ship. I don't know, whatever. The one question that keeps chiming in my head, and I know I'm a radical guy, so to speak, not really, but some people might think so. But the question that keeps ringing in my head is, why do we insist on producing more and more oil when we know that it's a limited value and it's expensive? Human driver accelerator. Why don't we use renewable resources such as solar power and wind and have the cars run on electricity? It's possible to run the cars on electricity. Put an accelerator again. I kind of thought that's what would happen. Right? I mean, if I had enough solar power at my house, I could run off-grid, recharge my cars off-grid. Just think about how useful that would be. Now, for the oil producer guys, no, they're not making any money out of that situation, are they? But I'm not here to keep them in business, am I? I guess they make huge contributions to Congress and the presidency, so I don't know. I don't know, it's just a question that comes back to me every once in a while. It's like, why is this not the strategic direction? Now, China's buying oil from Russia, but China's also, is it the, since a large majority of solar panels are made in China, or at least the minerals are processed through China, I think they're actually the biggest producers of solar power. And think about what it means for them, because they don't have their own oil. They have to get oil from other people. So by going solar, going wind, they set themselves to be energy independent. They don't have to depend upon anybody else. Okay? The oil they're buying from Russia is probably to fund to fuel manufacturing processes and just to help Russia out. Because they're technically long-term allies. And I get it, okay? So if you dig around and all that, let it rattle around a little bit. My real question, Mr. Cornyn, Mr. Cruz, and what's his face, Mike something, my U.S. representative. Why are we going so headlong into protecting coal, which pollutes, obviously, and oil, when it seems like the strategic direction would be clean energy? Crazy as that sounds. How many of these people around here in Lago Vista depend in any way upon oil or gasoline as a business income? Or as a personal income, maybe I should say it that way. Yes, the guys will work at the gas stations, but for a long time I've always heard gas stations, their profits come from selling convenience, not from selling gas. Gas gets you in the door. Okay? So if you turn all that around, actually, to make it more local, it makes me wonder why none of these gas stations around here are putting up any kind of EV charging. Yeah, I'm not suggesting you put up the 100,000, whatever they are, DC fast chargers, but just putting in some level 2s. Okay, foot on accelerator, let's get past this truck before we get stuck. I get you passing the truck, but we should be passing the truck, not just thinking about it. And that truck really doesn't want to be passed, does he? Oh, I'm not looking ahead. Yeah, maybe I'm looking in the mirror, look at this car, this truck behind me. Okay, whatever. So that's the real question for our politicians. And yes, I live in Texas. It's an oil and gas state. There's a lot of contributions to politics from the oil and gas group. But if supposedly you want to come out ahead of China, why do you surrender any kind of lead to China? That doesn't make sense to me. Yes, Senator Cornyn seems somewhat reasonable. Although I've seen the ads, so Cornyn is up for renewal or re-election. And I've seen the ads, he's 99% Trump. Okay. Kind of boxes you into a place, doesn't it? But okay, we'll see what happens in the election. I don't really want to get into the politics of it. Right turn signal. Can you move to the right? Yes, he can. Whoa! Look at Mr. Ram. He's going, I'm coming up. I'm going to go. Wow. Okay. So there was this Jeep coming up. That's the reason why a human driver. Right turn signal. Let's move out of the Jeep's way. Let him run up the road. And of course, another advantage of letting him run up the road is maybe FSD will go like, oh, I could go faster. Then again, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll slow down to 53. Okay, onward, upward charge. So that's a real question to you guys. If you're in the United States, you know, the political question, I don't want to make you take sides. You don't have to take sides on my behalf. I mean, I'd be curious to find out why you think letting China beat us economically is a good thing, but I don't know. Yeah. But, you know, if you're in the state of Texas, what I find is Senator Cornyn at least usually gives a thoughtful response if you write an email to him. Okay? It doesn't hurt to let him know what you think. Now, for you guys in other states, I don't know. People tend to be so polarized with their politics lately. It's hard to figure out what the real state is or situation. Anyway, onward upward charge. You don't have to worry so much about running into me. I don't know. He looks very scary, actually. Okay, yeah, I better wait for him. Oh man, he is scary. Alright, where are we at? 26.9 miles, 5 kilowatt hours used, 42 minutes, 183.3 watt hours per mile. Got you on the flip side. Okay, hamsters fed, plants are watered, mail's picked up, and also fixed the tube on the one bike using my new portable air compressor. So we're all good to go. Start and hold, or push and hold. I don't know. It's object and path. I don't know. I backed up straight into the driveway. I don't know what could be in the path. Maybe the bushes that are out in the yard just next to the driveway? Who knows? Anyway, peace and harmony. And which side of the fence are you on today? Okay, sees the gate open, but he's not sure the gate's open. Okay, human driver foot on accelerator. Let's go through while the gate's open. Oh, I was gonna say that one comes and goes. Exterior house wash. Okay. Sorry, I'm enjoying an ice cream. An ice cream bar, or whatever you call it. The Roadrunner. I didn't know they had Roadrunners around here. I mean, it's still sort of country, right? So that shouldn't be a big surprise. Okay, yeah, take a chance. Take a chance. He's turning. All right, so hopefully the drive back should be just as boring, if not more boring. He doesn't know it's 55 here. Yeah, he's going, what? I'm already 10 miles over the speed limit. No, you're not. Can somebody tell me what it is you're trying to do there? Why do we want to switch lanes? All right, so for some reason, FSD wanted to switch to the inside lane as this Nissan Frontier is coming up next to us. I'm not quite sure what the critical important thing is. But it wasn't worth getting in an accident over. What? Yes. That's another F. Didn't they finish doing what they're going to do? It's already 91 degrees. I'm not going to go out this afternoon. Although I do kind of need to cut the grass. Oh, right, yes. Wonder how old that house is. Oh, I guess some people bought their houses and moved in. Well, the lots aren't really big enough to do septic or well. Right? Somebody told me you have to have at least an acre. We're down to 12 miles an hour? Why are we going 12 miles an hour? Okay, looks like he's pulling in the driveway pretty well. All right. Parked. There we go. Trips. 29.0 miles, 48 minutes. 190.0 watt hours per mile. Wow. Okay, so the total trip, 58 miles. Yep, sounds about right. 10.8 kilowatt hours. 186.0 watt hours per mile for the whole trip. What? What? Yeah, it's better than 5 miles per kilowatt hour, yes. Absolutely. But let's take a look at that. All right, 1,000. Oh, I forgot to put down the charger. What'd you say it was? 186.3? 5.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Wowzers. All right, so there you go. Let's just cut to the short of it. So coming back on 1431, I guess the barrels started showing. I wasn't really paying attention to barrels, but the construction barrels started to show up on the side of the road, and FSD decided he had to switch to the inside lane. No plan for it, just all of a sudden like, I'm going to switch. Did you look next to you? No, why should I look there? Because there might be a truck there. Yeah, so the grade's enough today. It's that easy, right? There was one other place where he wanted to switch lanes, and that was also a bad idea. I forgot exactly. It's on Loman Ford. So I guess I'll end up pushing out a full-length video or long format video from this just to show all that. That part's actually pretty disappointing. Oh wait, what's that? I have 17,014 miles. Yes. I got two more months left out of the first 12 months. Okay, whatever. Let's move on, shall we? Oh, I said the grade stuff, right? Yeah.